WISN 12 is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, highlighting Hispanic culture right here in Milwaukee, featuring a tour of the must-try eateries.
That is the best Cuban sandwich I've ever had.
The artist making culture visible.
I do have a connection, and it runs deep.
The fight for the Hispanic vote.
How important is the Hispanic vote?
What voters are saying and the candidate with the upper hand. And a historic season for a Brewers rookie.
No, sí, la verdad que sí. Fue un buen año, gracias a Dios.
Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a WISN 12 Project Community Special.
The sounds of celebration for Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Diana Gutierrez.
And I'm Dario Melendez. The Hispanic community is making its mark here in Milwaukee every day at places just like this Zocalo where we are right now. Tonight, we focus on the people and the things that add to this city's rich cultural diversity, like the Hispanic Collaborative, which kicked off the month's festivities with a colorful celebration on the plaza at Deer District. Another celebration, the Mexican Independence Day Parade, a route packed with revelers on Milwaukee's south side each September, followed by a popular festival. The United States celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month every year from September 15th to October 15th.
It recognizes several Independence Day in Latin America. Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua all celebrate their Independence Day on September 15th. Mexico on the 16th. Chile celebrates its independence on the 18th and Belize on the 21st. And we are so grateful to showcase Zocalo Food Truck Park right here near 6th and Pierce. Zocalo opened in 2019 as Milwaukee's first permanent food truck park.
And look, I can confirm Milwaukee's Hispanic food scene is top notch. I took that, tough assignment of going inside the kitchens of some of this area's most popular Latin eateries. Just take a look. Okay, the first stop on our Milwaukee Latin cuisine tour is on historic Mitchell Street at Del Valle Oaxaqueño, a southern Mexican restaurant on Milwaukee's south side. Let's head on in and see what they got. Let's meet our tour guides for this amazing Latin cuisine tour. Manuel Corona from La Doma, he's the owner over there, and then Adam Pavlock, the celebrity chef that you've seen all over the Food Network, and he's the owner of Egg and Flour. But Manuel, thank you so much for being our tour guide.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.
Let's not waste any more time. Let's get the owner of Oaxaqueño over here right now, Eladio. In Oaxaca, is there a difference?
Northern, I would say Tex-Mex food. They use a lot of combination between American food and Mexican food. In Oaxaca, we use a lot of black beans. As you go northern, they use pinto beans.
Eladio, we cannot thank you enough.
Thank you. It was a pleasure having you here.
So we've just made our way from South Milwaukee, where we had some Southern Mexican, to downtown Milwaukee, where we're going to try some island hopping, do a little bit of Caribbean flavor. And when you talk about the Caribbean, you have to talk about the biggest island in the Caribbean, and that is Cuba. So we're here at Cubanitas, where we're going to try some Cuban cuisine. Let's go. Marta, the founder, owner of Cubanitas, thank you so much for having us. I'm already seeing some differences. What are some of those differences?
The number one question that we always get here, is it spicy like Mexican food? It's not. 90% of our cuisine comes from Spain. Another 8% is indigenous to the African continent, and about 2% Chinese.
Where does that come from?
The rice. We're eating rice at every single meal. It is definitely a melting pot of a lot of different people that traveled to Cuba. So here's a little taste of it.
Marta, thank you so much for taking us on our Cuban cuisine tour. But now we gotta go try out another place. We gotta go to South America next. Okay, so we've had some great Southern Mexican, some great Cuban cuisine. Now we're out in West Dallas to get some Peruvian, a taste of South America when we're at Chef Paz, an amazing place out in West Dallas. Let's come in, meet the owner, and get some more tasting going on. Chef Paz, I cannot thank you enough for having us in your restaurant. First off, what is Peruvian cuisine?
Right now, the Peruvian cuisine is considered the best food in the world, because we have a lot of immigrants, Chinese, Japanese, French, Italian, Spain. We are one country that mix the cultures.
So I didn't realize how much potato was used in Latin food.
Yes, we are the land of potatoes. We have more than 3,000 kind of potatoes.
Peru is where the potatoes
I would
are.
have never known that.
Every color, everything.
Well, Chef Paz, thank you so much for having us, but we have one more stop to get to. We got to get to Manuel's place. Okay, so we're going to head back to Central America, back to Mexico for our final stop on this MKE Latin America taste testing tour. We're at La Dama in Walker's Point. This is Manuel's spot, and unlike Eladio, who dealt with Southern Mexican cuisine, Manuel's spot serves Northern Mexican fine dining with a little bit of a modern twist. Let's head inside and check it out. Northern Mexican cuisine with that modern twist. What does that really mean?
I feel like the northern states of Mexico tend to do more like a steak grill. I wanted to just keep traditional.
How important is tradition in the Mexican culture?
I think it's very important because, like, you know, it brings back like all those memories, and we keep this, keep the like old recipes alive from like where my grandma used to cook.
We're trying new things. I had a blast getting to try everything.
So guys, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it all looks so good. After all that food, what was your favorite?
I mean, the nap afterwards. There was so much great food. No, but just learning how all the different cultures kind of blend, but they have their distinct tastes. Like Mexico is very traditional. Their recipes go back for generations, where when you look at Peru and Cuba, there's such a immigrant influence, and it's just so cool to see. And I didn't even know that Southern Mexico does black beans and Northern Mexico does pinto beans. I mean, you learn something every day. Yeah, definitely. Now, Hispanics are also imprinting in other leadership roles on the Milwaukee business scene, in education, and in essential city services. So let's start with an iconic Milwaukee business that we all know, El Rey. Ernesto Villarreal and his two brothers opened El Rey in 1978 on 16th Street, now called Cesar Chavez Drive. It was a small market where the brothers made homemade tortillas. As the store grew, they sold tortilla chips and many other ethnic specialties. 46 years later, there are 4 El Rey grocery stores, a staple in Milwaukee.
We help a lot of people. I mean, through the years, I think it helped us a lot because we help them and then they help people. I come every day just to improve my store. The TV show Top Chef filmed its most recent season in Wisconsin, featuring El Rey in episode 8. On the education front, the new president of Milwaukee Area Technical College is the first Latino to hold that job. I spoke to Anthony Cruz recently, and he shared a message to people who might be the first in their position.
I was a first-generation college student myself. My parents moved here from Cuba many years ago in the early 60s, so sometimes being the only one is difficult, but you should always be proud of your heritage, where you come from, and who you represent. And how about this? The Milwaukee Area Girl Scouts. It's now led by a Latina, a first for the Southeast Wisconsin chapter.
The simple fact that we're saying that anyone is a first in 2024 is bittersweet. Of course, it's a sense of pride for someone who's in the role. However, that shouldn't be the society in which we live in today. Ana Simpson was raised by a Spanish mother and Puerto Rican father. She moved to Milwaukee to attend Marquette. Now she's hoping to inspire a new generation of women leaders. Girls need to see scientists, astronauts, doctors. For girls of color, another layer of importance for a young girl to see other women that they can say, I see myself in her. Simpson encourages all Girl Scouts to look into multicultural patches to learn more about the Hispanic community and other cultures. And the Milwaukee Fire Department is working to build a more diverse team. Chief Aaron Lipsky talked to 12 News about why it is so important.
Let's acknowledge this, that we're still very, very segregated by just about every measure. So when we go into certain communities, we're in a higher density population of a given community. There are language barriers, there's cultural awareness, there's just familiarity which can ease an emergency situation. That enhances not only the service delivery, it enhances responder safety too, and responder effectiveness.
Chief Lipsky posted this thank you on social media, showing photos of all of Milwaukee's Hispanic firefighters. He says nearly 13% of his department is Hispanic. And Hispanic athletes are also front and center in Milwaukee's sports scene. Especially with the Brewers. The organization has players from 8 different Latin American countries and Puerto Rico in the organization. The Brewers, or the Cerveceros in Spanish, know how important this growing demographic is in the game of baseball. The team recognized Hispanic Heritage Month with a special theme night ticket, including one game in September where fans got to take home one of these special t-shirts. It's the Brewers logo filled with the flags of Hispanic countries. Earlier in the month, the Brewers also celebrated left fielder and Venezuelan native Jackson Chourio with a free bobblehead for all the fans. Man, he is quickly becoming a fan favorite among the Brew Crew faithful. This year, his rookie year, Chourio did something no one in baseball history had ever done before. He became the first player to hit 20 home runs and steal 20 stolen bases before his 21st birthday.
His number 11 jersey, the number 1 selling jersey for the Crew this year, that's according to the team's store. After the Brewers fell to the Mets in the Wild Card Series, I spoke to the star outfielder.
En tu carrera tienes que estar demasiado orgulloso de todo lo que has logrado.
No, sí, la verdad que sí, fue un buen año, gracias a Dios. Y nada, lamentablemente no se cumplió el objetivo, pero nada, le doy gracias a Dios por mantenerme sano hasta lo último y nada, contento hasta donde llegamos.
Chourio won't turn 21 until March. The Brewers are ribbing him about his age, getting him a stroller of non-alcoholic beer when the Brew Crew clinched the NL Central. Commitment 2024 and the fight for the Hispanic vote, what voters are saying and who has the upper hand right now.
Plus, the artist behind Milwaukee's mural. Still ahead, we'll introduce you to Mauricio Ramirez, bringing color to the Cream City for years.
And as we head to break, you're hearing Dance Academy flash mobbing the Milwaukee night market to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. The presidential election is now just 3 weeks away. The candidates continuing to barnstorm Wisconsin.
And that includes the intensifying push for the Hispanic vote. 12 News political director Matt Smith is on the campaign trail.
In the heart of Milwaukee's Hispanic neighborhood on the city's south side, a sense of urgency just weeks from Election Day.
How important is the Hispanic vote?
Muy importante porque muchos de los que hoy en día pueden votar no saben los sacrificios y los sueños que se quedaron atrás para que ellos pudieran tener una mejor vida.
Wisconsin's Hispanic vote, a growing and coveted target as both campaigns intensify their efforts to mobilize Hispanic voters.
Yo digo que muchos le van a Trump, muchos quieren votar por él para que acomode por las cosas y otros le van a la Cámara, ¿verdad? Pero esa es una decisión de cada persona. Uno no puede, cada quien pensamos diferente.
The Trump campaign and Republican National Committee recently opening a Hispanic outreach center in the heart of the South Side.
This election is extremely important for everybody, but also for very, very, very many Latinos here. Many Latinos, like my parents who came here for a better life, are not getting that better life anymore.
This cycle, Hispanic voters say the economy is the top issue, but go back and forth on whether Trump or Harris is better on issues like the economy and immigration. Vice President Kamala Harris leading among Wisconsin Hispanic voters in 2 of the last 3 Marquette Law School polls, Trump led in August. But Wisconsin's Hispanic population is small and hard to capture a one-time snapshot in a poll. The Harris campaign pushing to capitalize with events this past month, too.
I am here specifically talking to Latinos in Wisconsin. The Latino community has incredible power and can decide this election. And I want to make sure that Latinos in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin know that we value their vote.
Exit polling from 2020 showed Joe Biden winning 60% of Wisconsin's Hispanic vote to Trump's 37%. Hispanics making up 4% of the state's voting population. Turnout this election day will be key.
To find out what's on your ballot and your polling location, head over to the free 12 News mobile app.
There you can find our general election voter guide. And as we head to break, you're hearing a performance from Milwaukee's Market on the Riverwalk.
The Milwaukee Public Museum hosted Celebración Latina to highlight the artistic aspects of Hispanic culture.
Museum visitors learned about Mexican art repujado, which is made from aluminum, or people could attempt macrame, a form of textile produced using knotting. Many of the beautiful murals we see around Milwaukee were created by a Mexican-American artist. Mauricio Ramirez's family immigrated to Milwaukee from Mexico in the 60s.
Ramirez is known for painting some of the most iconic murals that we've seen in the city. 12 News' Mallory Anderson spoke to him one-on-one about his heritage, all reflected in his work.
What's your story? Where are you from? And what's your family's background?
Me personally, I have a unique story, unique background. My family on my mom's side migrated here in the Milwaukee area from Mexico in, the 1950s and 60s and started planting our roots here. And, my mom grew up here, met my father from Mexico that was living in Chicago. I spent a lot of time spending all my summers here, all my family parties, just like really having my first early memories here.
When we talk about Hispanic heritage, what does that mean to you and why is that important in your life?
Sure, I think Hispanic heritage to me is super important because, it gives us, an identity, it gives us connection with others, and ultimately it gives us confidence within the community.
How does your heritage sort of translate onto your art?
I like to dig deep inside my own history and my own knowledge of where I came from and where my parents came from, and using that as pretty much getting informed from that history, and then trying to place it onto a wall with colors and different historic images and icons.
This mural, what was the sort of story about the design and
Sure.
why did you want to make it?
Yeah, this mural is on a prominent South Side historical street, Mitchell Street. It's one of the biggest veins on the South Side, predominantly Hispanic, obviously. And so I wanted to create a mural that kind of told the story of, a young girl turning into a woman. And so you have the young girl right here, young toddler, kind of looking up to an older figure. This particular figure is actually, born and raised here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and her name is Lucia. And this is Lucia when she was about, 4 or 5 years old. The photo was taken at Mexican Fiesta, and her father grew up here maybe 3-4 blocks away.
There's a lot of people of color that are featured in the murals that you do. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, the areas that I end up painting, I end up trying to create visibility within cultures and stuff. And that's, literally, photographing people in the community, sharing their story and having them be kind of, a face of the community and stuff. I like to do a little bit of research before I paint a mural in specific neighborhoods because, I also don't want to be an alien coming outside with no connection and stuff. But the truth is I do have a connection and it runs deep.
What's it like to be a Hispanic or Latin figure that is pretty prominent in this city and in others because of the work that you do?
I'm super proud, to uplift the people and create a pathway for the future generation to come and follow me and create their own path.
Obviously, my favorite Ramirez mural is that one downtown of Giannis. The thing's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. A big crowd always gathers around taking those Instagram selfies, putting Milwaukee on the map. Another one that you can see from the freeway is right here at Zocalo Park, and that's Selena. She's right behind us. A lot of people complimenting Mauricio on that artwork. Still to come, what does being Hispanic mean to you? We asked Milwaukeeans to tell us why celebrating their culture is important to them. As we covered Hispanic Heritage Month stories this month, we asked people about their culture and what it really means to them.
Here's what some of them told us.
I think the Hispanic culture we can show that we can work hard, we can pursue our dreams.
There's so many positive contributions that Latinos have contributed to our country, and it's important that it's represented and it's highlighted.
That's one beautiful thing about what I call truly Milwaukee a melting pot, that we have the opportunity to not only be able to celebrate one culture, but be able to celebrate all cultures and allow people to come together.
And I think that right there is a perfect example of why Hispanic Heritage Month is just so special. It just brings everybody together in this huge melting pot we have here in Milwaukee.
It doesn't matter where you're from, how you identify, we are all coming together as one community celebrating where we all come from. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Diana Gutierrez.
And I'm Dario Melendez. Buenas noches.
Nos vemos mañana.